Hey, how are you? Okay, for today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how to make a working portal gun. In Rec Room, obviously. So, let's start. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to get out is a trigger handle. You're just going to place it right here, and we're going to freeze it so that it doesn't move on us. Now, next thing is a projectile launcher. So right here, place it like that and put the circuit board over here. Now copy the projectile launcher and move it down one. Now take one of those circuit boards and just move it up. Now we're going to get out 2 if chips. Place them just like that. Or, well, not just like that. You can place them whatever you want, like however you want. Just preferably do it like this so that it's easier for you to manage. Then hook up primary action. We won't do that yet. Never mind. Forget about that. Oh, sure, I'm tripping out. Grab out an interaction volume, and place it 2 away from the trigger handle. That's 1 away. I'm stupid. Okay, so then now stick this up here. Stick this up here. And get a bool variable. Place 2 of them. Now copy them up. If you don't copy, it will break and it just won't work. Now hook up on use to the input on the first bool, and the output of that bool to the input on the second bool. Now do the same thing with your other ones down here. Now flip your bool on the top, the first bool on the top one, to true, and flip the bool on the bottom of the second one to false. So now what we're going to do is hook up primary action pressed to the input on the if. Then we're going to put the else to the input on the other if. And then hook up the first condition to the first bool on the bool variable. And hook up the second condition to the bool on the second bool variable. Now hook up the first then to fire forward on one, and the second then to fire forward on the other. So what this will do is basically, if I click this, then this shoots. But then if I click this, that shoots. So now we can choose which one to shoot by using those. So now let's get down our portals. The first thing is just, I'm not a builder, so I'm just going to use like a little rectangle. And then center the pivot of that. And then here's the most important part. Make sure the blue part of it is facing out. You want it to just be slightly poking out of the object and facing like that. So you want it to look just like this. Now take that portal, configure it, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and turn can modify with circuits on. Now come to the tags, type in P1, and add the tag. Now we're going to clone this over, configure our cloned version, click X on P1 so that we don't have it anymore, and then make a new tag called P2 and give it to that object. Now that we have that, we're going to come into this projectile launcher circuit board, and we're going to take, the first thing we need is an event receiver, not an event definition, an event receiver, like this. You want this chip right here. now configure it to be projectile hit Rec Room object. Now get out another chip called set transform. And what is happening? And stick it up here. Now hook up that. Now hook up the two executions and get out a Rec Room object get first with tag, which is this chip right here. And hook up object to target. Now change this little purple string to P1. And now if you hover over this, it should say maker pen object, unless you did something wrong. In which case you should go back and check that one of those objects has that tag. And then come in here and look up collision data, get position, and collision data get normal. And place those two chips down. Hook up collision data to both targets, the position to position, and normal to rotation. Now that we have that, you can either do what I'm doing right here, which is copying it, or you can remake it in this circuit board. I am just going to copy it. If you do copy it, make sure you do this. Change the tag to P2. And if you remake it, just remake it just like this. Change the tag from P1 to P2. Okay, now that part's done, there's one more step to this. Okay, time for the next step. Get out your interaction volumes. And then just stick them on your little portal model, just like I'm doing. If you're a builder, these orange cubes are the portals. You might want to make a nicer portal model. And then just basically stack these two on top of each other so they look nicer. Now the next step is to grab out a vector component. So this little arrow right here. Now, make sure the arrow part is facing away from the door portal thing. And copy it over to here. So now that we have two of those. Hold up, let me check something. Okay. So, stick your vector component up here. Now, this is an important step. If you mess it up, the portal's not going to work. Make sure that this portal, which is this circuit board right here, has this vector chip next to it, not this vector chip. So to show you what that looks like is, I'm going to stick that there. Now, these two are going to go together. And if you notice, this circuit board is for this object. This is for this object. That is what it should look like. Otherwise, it will not work. So now that we have all that done, we're going to come up here, and we only need a couple chips. We need a get position. Okay. Place it there, and place another one right there. Now we need a set transform. Same chip we used inside the circuit boards. And we want two of those. So now hook up on use to the execution, and hook up target to player that used. Do the same thing for the other one. And now hook up the target of the get position to the top output on the vector, and hook up the vector to rotation, the position to position. Now do the same thing up here so that it's like this. Okay. Now there is only 1 or 2 more steps. So first, there's 2 more steps. I don't know why I said 1 or 2. Grab 2 clamps like this. You are going to wire this interaction volume, which is the pink glowy thing, to the golden part of the clamp, and do the same thing to the vector component. Now do that same thing on the other side. And now you're going to wire your portal model, or your little square as I have it, to the bottom part of the clamp. Okay. So now for the last step, you add another clamp over here. Wire both interaction volumes to the gold part of the clamp and both projectile launchers. Make sure you have both of them wired. Now, the last step is to take your handle right here and wire it to the bottom. Okay. Now that you have all that done, you have a portal gun. Now, let me show you how you use it. Okay. So now, we can take our trigger handle. Well, I have to make it grabbable. And now, if we click on this and shoot, a portal goes to there. If we click on this and shoot, the other portal goes to where we shot. Now, we can use this, and it'll teleport us between those 2 portals. So, that's all for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.